Actually, it was very unexpected. I came in here with a friend for coffee because I wanted to check out the new coffee shop in town. And as we were leaving, it just dawned on me, I'm like, because I've done coffee before in my past. So I thought, I wonder if they're hiring. And this would be a fun little place to work. And I asked Vicki if they were hiring. She called me the next day and had me come in, and they hired me, and she wanted me to start right away. And so I would do my little preschool job, and then I'd come over here right after and do the rest of the day out here. And then I didn't go back to the preschool after summer. I just went full time here. And I just, I never imagined I'd be here 10 years later, much less owning the shop.
Welcome to the Sold on Drip podcast, your ultimate destination for all things Dripping Springs. I am your host, Bill Caffaretta, and we are here to celebrate what makes this town the best place to live in the Texas Hill Country. It's amazing people. Join us as we sit down with local residents and business owners to hear their stories, learn why they love this community, and are proud to call it home. We will be spotlighting their businesses, find out why they choose to serve the people of Dripping Springs, and dive into the local events that bring our community together. Our finger is always on the pulse, and we will be keeping you informed about how our rapid growth and development is impacting our schools, resources, and the local real estate market. Whether you're a lifelong resident or you have just discovered Dripping Springs, you will soon know why we are all sold on drip. Thanks for joining and enjoy this episode. Welcome to the Sold on Drip podcast. I'm your host, Bill Caffaretta, and I have my guest here, Lori Green, the new owner of Mazama Coffee Shop down on Mercer Street. And this is a guest that I've been really excited to have on because I feel like I've known you forever and know you, but don't know you. So I'm excited to dive in and kind of learn more about your story and what you love about Dripping Springs.
All right. Sounds good.
So why don't you take a minute or two and just kind of introduce yourself and tell us who Lori is.
Okay, who is Lori? I am Lori Green. I've been in Dripping Springs for almost 13 years. Moved here from Washington State 13 years ago, and we came here because we were just kind of at that stage of our family where we were living in a really, I know Dripping Springs is a small town, but it's close to Austin. It's like we were in a small town with nothing around us. And I just kind of wanted to get my kids out of that small town while they were still a little younger, So we were just ready to make a move, and we didn't quite know where we were going to move. I had family living in Colorado at the time, and we thought maybe we would go there or whatever, but they ended up all coming here and making a move around the same time we wanted to make a move. My brother is a pastor, and he wanted to come here and start a church. So we thought, well, we'll just all go and help out and do whatever we can. And we chose Dripping Springs because it had good schools, and just we'd heard good things about it. I didn't really know about any of the areas in Austin, but after being here for 13 years, I'm so glad that this is where we landed because I love the community here. It's so great.
So 13 years, that's actually, ironically, when we moved here from New Jersey 13 years ago, and moved to Dripping, I don't know, 7 years ago or so. But what an explosion of growth we've had over that last 7 to 13 years here in town. It's
10 years ago, there was nothing happening on Mercer Street over here.
Right.
This town down here. So it's pretty crazy. Yeah, it's been fun to watch all the growth.
Mercer Street was just old buildings and a cut through to 90 to 12. There was nothing there.
It was terrible. There was a little store.
I really think that the coffee shop is what brought Mercer Street to life. That's really kind of the first thing that was there that really brought people down there.
Yeah, I agree. It did. So, just a reason to come down here because there was no coffee shops out here anywhere. So
no, there wasn't. So when I first started teaching here in Drip, I'm a big coffee guy. I remember coming out and being like, where are we gonna get some coffee? And I would go to the gas station and get gas station coffee or get the canned espresso drinks from Starbucks. And then I remember finding out about you guys. It was fairly shortly after y'all opened, and I was super, super excited about it. But what's kind of your history with the coffee shop? How did that start? You were there from the beginning, right?
So I came about 2 months after they opened.
Okay.
I was actually just working a little. So it was the first year, I think, that all of my kids were in school all day. And so I had started working at this little preschool, helping out at the Baptist church, just doing, it's like a half a day or whatever. And I was coming up to summer and I knew that, we're not working during the summer for preschool, and I thought I should get another little part-time job. So I just wandered in here. Actually, it was very unexpected. I came in here with a friend for coffee because I wanted to check out the new coffee shop in town. And as we were leaving, it just dawned on me, I'm like, because I've done coffee before in my past. So I thought, I wonder if they're hiring. This would be a fun little place to work. And I asked Vicki if they were hiring. She called me the next day and had me come in, and they hired me, and she wanted me to start right away. And so I would do my little preschool job, and then I'd come over here right after and do the rest of the day out here. And then I didn't go back to the preschool after summer. I just went full time here. And I just, I never imagined I'd be here 10 years later, much less owning the shop. But to me, it was just a little part-time job I was going to do for a short time until I did something else. I don't know.
What a wild transition to go from taking a friend for coffee. Maybe I'll get a part-time job here, to owning the coffee shop 10 years later. And it's not even just coffee shop. I mean, let's not minimize it. I mean, it's kind of like the central hub of town. I mean, it's where everybody goes. You see everybody every morning.
Yes,
and
so much.
Everyone knows your name. It's the spot.
Yeah, it's just all the connections that happen here are what I love so much about this. Well, I love being around people. So I just love being able to connect other people to other people. When I find out someone works in this industry, and I'm like, oh, I need you to meet this person. And so it's been fun to watch those connections develop over the years between people.
Right.
I love it. It's just so much fun.
Yeah, I mean, anytime I have a meeting, that's where I go. I mean, it helps that I live right down the street, but no, it's great. I mean, it's just a wonderful place, and everybody in town loves it. What's the kind of history of the coffee shop? So it was there about 2 months for you. Can you tell us a little bit about like the beginnings and the initial owners and what it was like kind of transitioning to today?
So Vicki and Bruce Lewis are the original founders of Mazama Coffee. And I think Vicki was working in corporate America forever, and she was tired of it and wanted to get out and do something on her own. So they took the risk of, and it was kind of a big risk when you looked at how dead it was down here. And it takes a long time, word of mouth, getting people to know that you're down here, because nobody really came to Mercer Street for anything. So it was real slow in the early days. I remember standing around a lot. I mean, we find stuff to do, but yeah, it was pretty slow. So just watching the growth has been crazy, going from what it was 10 years ago to what it is now. And Vicki and Bruce did a great job of making this place what it is today. And I've just been so lucky to reap the benefits of all of their hard work, because they worked hard. It wasn't easy for them in the early days. And so it's just been such a great opportunity for me that I'm so thankful for.
Well, the real question that everyone asks about the coffee shop is the name. How to say it, what it means, where it came from. It's a foreign word around here. Nobody really understands it. And I've heard some wild pronunciations of it. So why don't you tell us a bit about where that came from?
Well, it's not Mazama. It's not, what else do we hear? Like, I'm trying to think. Mazamas, there's no S on the end.
No S.
So it is pronounced Mazama. You're correct. So then the way that the original owners came up with the name is, there's a little town in Eastern Washington that they owned a family cabin at. And so they just had lots of great memories there. They would go there skiing in the winter, and in the little town was called Mazama. I almost said it wrong. That was so weird. And so it just held great memories for them. It also means mountain goats. Some people will argue with me about this. So it's a Native American word, but it's actually a South American word technically it means little deer in South America, but the Native Americans used it to describe the mountain goats that were in the area or whatever. So it means mountain goat, and that's our little mascot, our little Mojo, the goat. So that's kind of the history of that. But here's an interesting fact that Vicki and Bruce didn't know when they named it Mazama and used the goat. The first discovery of coffee was in Ethiopia from a goat farmer. He noticed the goats were eating these berries off his tree and getting it, and they were just super hyper all the time. And that was when they discovered coffee. So it's kind of cool that like that's our goat. And we didn't know that story. So yeah.
That is great. Yeah, I had no idea about that. I knew the kind of origin story, but didn't know the actual meaning of that and the coffee. And I mean, it ties in all the goat cultures and stuffies and the in there. I know my daughter Zoe is obsessed with going there just because she wants a goat cookie.
Yes.
Told you that the goat cookie is your greatest
kids love
marketing. Yeah, it's the greatest marketing tool you have. I mean, you can't take a kid in there to get coffee and then not get a goat cookie.
I know, and you gotta slide the cookies just at the right height in the case so that the kids eye view. You love it.
Yep.
Oh, I need a goat.
Yeah, the goat cookies a big seller in this house, and now we're buying 3 to 5 of them every time we go in there. So
yeah, I love it.
It's filling up. But yeah, that's a great story. I mean, the goat Mazama, not what were some of the other one, the really good one?
The Ethiopian.
No, the names. Mazama's because the S. It's always got an S on it.
Mazama. So, it's all over the place.
Yeah, it's kind of silly. So 10 years, you've now owned it for how long, and how did that transition happen? Because you went from a part-time job to business owner from Mercer Street, where it was nothing. I mean, it was just a bunch of abandoned buildings to you can't even afford to rent a place down there now because that place is popping.
It's crazy.
How did that happen? What happened in that middle time before? I mean, you grew and grew, but what got you to a point where you thought you might own this business one day?
I never thought I would own this business. I always said to Vicky, like, if you ever leave, you better tell me you're leaving because I'm not getting stuck here with somebody else.
Yeah. And they were incredibly. So let's talk a little bit. I want to give Vicky and Bruce their due because they were incredibly hands-on owners, always present, always there. And I know, I mean, y'all roast your own coffee. And that was something I know Bruce took very seriously and did a lot of training on. So let's get a little bit touch on. I know this is your story, but I don't want to leave them out because they had a huge piece of this.
I wouldn't have this story without them. So, So yeah. And I really, when we first started, we were not roasting our own coffee at that time. We were using cuvee coffee in the shop, and we had like this tiny little oven that we could put cookies in. Like we'd bake a few things and that was it. And they were just so smart about when to expand and what to add and just always looking for the next thing to do, which was great. Like I learned so much just working for them because they're just so smart with business. They don't have to have all of it right now. Like they know when it's time to launch into the next thing. And so it's just been really cool watching the business grow into a roaster and a full-on bakery, and it's expanding. Like I feel like there would be times where if I had any couple days off or anything, I'd come back and there would be something new or different happening. Like there's just always something changing. So yeah, it's been cool. They did it right and it works and the people love it and we love it. So yeah, I started part-time and then I went pretty well close to full-time, probably a few months later, and then eventually started managing the staff. Vicky trusted me with that. And I don't know, I loved the job. I didn't need to go do anything else. And it's, the kids are in school, I'm at work. It worked perfectly. And in the meantime, just got to know so many amazing people, and I didn't want to leave. And when Vicky approached me about buying the business, I didn't think that could happen either. I'm like, there's just no way. There's no way. But we'll walk through every door we can. And she, the great thing is she probably could have sold it to multiple people and had it done and wrapped up before we were able to get it done, because we keep having like hurdles to get over. But she was so patient. And so I mean, how
long did that process take?
It took longer than we all thought it would take. and we weren't talking about it with anybody. So
right.
it was probably a good 6-month process. I think we all thought it would be like, oh, we'll get approved and it'll go through and we'll be done. But it was just like, oh, we need this now. Now we need this. Oh no, this isn't gonna work. Oh, we came up against this. One of the last things we came up against, which was so dumb, was we were supposed to go sign closing papers and something, my husband's Canadian, and something came up that he had to have a background check to make sure he's not a terrorist because he's from Canada. And that took forever. Like they send it off to Homeland Security and like you're not at the top of their terrorist list. So it's like, oh my gosh. So it was just like one thing after another. But
well, if you think about it, I mean, anyone that's ever bought a home has gone through the process of getting a mortgage, and it's I need this document, and you give it to them, and then it's a week goes by, I need this document again and again. And I mean, that takes 30, 45 days. And you're just buying a structure, you're buying a whole business.
I know. And we never bought a business, and Vicki and Bruce have never sold a business. So we just didn't realize how much it was going to take and all the.
I'm glad that worked out. I'm glad that, you know, if anyone was going to take it over, that it was you. I imagine they feel exactly the same way. But it's been incredible. And the business itself, like I had no idea that they were transitioning it over, and it was seamless. And I mean, when you go in there, it feels like home. And you go in and you all roast your own coffee. The bakery, all the baked goods are baked on site, and they're amazing. I mean, your new edition of that blueberry tea cake is
that's really good.
Phenomenal. But it's that central hub of the community that's huge. I mean, there's business meetings, there's social meetings. It's a big spot for the high school kids in the morning, and to go there in the afternoon. And what's nice is you have a quiet area, you have like the general, you know, in and out kind of central line area, and then your outdoor patio is
right.
Is amazing. And y'all host, I mean, there's different things there as well. I mean, in the fall, you guys host Songwriters Festival, and
that's such a great event. So fun. Yeah,
it's a good one. And also, like, y'all are very generous. I know, just personally, we run our Santa event with our Nikki fundraiser across the street, and you're always donating coffee, and you're always ready to jump out and help the community.
I love to do whatever we can.
It's important.
The schools and stuff, we like to make sure we're supporting the school, any kind of efforts they're trying to fundraise and stuff. So, I mean, we can't give money because we're just small, but we try to do whatever we can with, you know, donating to silent auctions and stuff like that, or giving coffee like for your events. But yeah,
for sure. And that's actually one thing I don't think a lot of people do know is, and we've been getting coffee for our networking meetings, that you can actually get pots to go.
Yeah.
For different events in the morning.
Yes. You can get a box copy so you can throw it away, or we give it the metal carafes too that you have to bring back after. And so far, nobody's kept them yet. I'm always one day we're not going to get these back. People are really good.
I brought them back the next day, forgetting to do it, and they just sit in the back of my truck. And then I get in the next day, and it smells like coffee, and I'm like, oh crap, I didn't drop it. What's next for you guys? What do you see? What's kind of next on the horizon? Anything coming up?
That is a good question. Right now, so we just had our 6-month anniversary of owning the place this week. So we're, you know, we've been treading water, like just trying to make sure that we know what we're doing, like getting in a routine, because I knew how to run the daily operations, but there is a lot of back office stuff that we've had to figure out. And my husband is taking care of all the books and finances, which is great because that is not my cup of tea at all. But we have some really great help. So we're right now, I don't think we don't know what's next yet, but we know that we want to be more in the community for sure. I want to figure out ways to help other businesses and just kind of partner with other people. I know we have some ideas for just some in the shop changes as far as like decor and stuff like that, which is always fun, but doing a little bit of not rebranding, but just kind of a refresh on some of the stuff that is in the shop. But as far as that, I think that's about as far as we're looking ahead right now at the moment. So just always open to ideas and how that we can help. And
I mean, your outside area is so great.
It is.
And I told you this about a month ago. I want to do a comedy night there and get some stand-up comedians in town. And because you have the license, you can sell beer and wine as well.
Well, so I don't have that right now, but
Okay.
we are planning on getting it, I hope before October for the.
Okay. For the brewers. Okay.
But I
Well,
mean,
good.
the cool thing about that though is like, Summer Revival, the little restaurant winery.
Yeah.
Like
Yep.
I can have her come in for events and bring wine and
Oh, because she can
yeah.
travel with her
And so it's
license.
a great way to help to include some other businesses if we're doing an event, that they get their name out there and get their product out there too.
Sure.
And I love that. So
For sure. Cool. So let's take a look at this. So I know you've only been in the business 6 months as far as ownership, but you've been with the coffee shop over the last 10 years. What would you say was kind of your biggest hurdle outside of buying the business? Because that was a big one. But like, what is the one thing that you've learned in business that's like really helped you kind of as maybe working there that as a business owner that you've learned that's something you can share that other small business owners here in Dripping Springs might benefit from?
that is a great question. I think honestly, the thing that, and this may not be helpful to anybody, the thing that was the hardest for me was, I think, transitioning from manager to owner, because the relationship with the employees changed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Before I was like, okay, here's Vicky, here's me, and here's all you guys. And I was kind of the buffer between, and Vicky would come down, she'd be like the hard one, and I'd be like, oh, everybody's happy, it's okay, just like you gotta come to a balance of like,
Vicky was the boss and you were the Care Bear.
I want to be a friend, but I'm also your boss.
Yeah.
So it was kind of weird. Some people were like, oh, you just told me what to do. And I mean, not that I wasn't directing people before, but it's kind of got a little bit of a different, like, I don't know, just that whole adjustment period of, okay, I'm the owner now, so I do have to be a little harder and I have to require things where before I could always like, Vicky could do it.
Yeah.
So that's been, because I want all of our employees to be happy, and I love them. We have a great staff, which I would like to say right out. They are so great and they are good with people, and I love that they care about the company. So I always want them to feel valued and encouraged and all that stuff. But so just that, and I just struggle myself with, I like everybody around me to be happy. I just want peace. I want everybody to be happy. So it is hard for me when I have to like kind of come down and go like, hey, we're not going to do that, or I don't want to see that anymore, just stuff like that. So I'm learning to get a little bit of a backbone more. And Vicky used to push me that way because she knows that I struggle. She's like, I want you to go out there and you need to correct that. I'm like, okay.
No, I'm glad you brought that up, because I feel like most business owners and people in general have this struggle, because nobody wants to be the person to tell somebody else what to do. And we all want to just kind of get by in our day and everyone be happy and enjoy our time. And you want to be around people you want to be around, and to be that person that's kind of, I don't want to say micromanaging, but pushing them in a sense where, you just don't want to, it's a tough thing to do. And that's where, when you're in a leadership position, or you're in a coaching position, or an ownership position, or a manager's position, it's tough to push people. You're doing it for the best intentions, and it's a struggle to get that across sometimes.
I do think that you have to, as a business owner, come to the realization, and I think every business owner does eventually, that, well, this is my business and this is how I want it run. And so it's okay for me to make those corrections and let people know, like, no, we're not, this is not who we are. And I don't want to see that anymore. Like, you have to think about that. You can't just be scared to offend people. And I am always very kind in my corrections, and I always make sure and go double check, make sure everybody's okay. But you do have to remember, like, it is your business. So you can't always make everybody happy, and you have to do what's right for the business. So
you're protecting that culture, because that is what, that's your brand.
Yeah, exactly.
That's your brand. I mean, the coffee's great, but there's a lot of places you can get coffee now. You were the first, and now there's a lot.
You could have mediocre coffee and have a great atmosphere and a place for people, and they're going to come. And I hope we don't have mediocre. I think we have great coffee.
You have great coffee.
But I mean, you're exactly right. The climate is everything, and that's what keeps people coming back. Is just
it did take me a few times to get used to the cold brew, because that'll pop you in the nose. But
oh man, I know it will. It'll get you.
it'll get you. That afternoon cold brew keeps you going. Let me ask you this question. This is an interesting one. if you were going to get coffee anywhere in town that's not yours,
Uh-huh.
whose coffee would you get?
Oh man. Okay.
Get in the hot seat.
Yes. No. Okay. I'm gonna say I love Greater Goods Coffee is amazing. They have
Yeah.
and they do a great job. They do a great job at everything they do. So yeah, I love Greater Goods. Yeah.
That's a good choice. I would say for me it would be Cosmic because they're
I do
outside
like
area.
Cosmic as
And they have
well.
tacos and everything about Cosmic is
Yeah.
great.
I love to go hang out at Cosmic. It's such a great place. I love their outdoors. It's so cool.
What's your favorite non-Austin, like non-Dripping Springs coffee shop like you've been to on vacation? Like where?
Oh, I have one. It's in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And it is Nordagio's.
Okay.
They have the best coffee ever. Like it's so good. Whenever I go there, I go in and get 5 bags of coffee. My son, it's his favorite coffee, so I have to get him some. And they are just, I don't know what they do to that coffee, but it's amazing. And yeah, they're good. So if you ever go to Tulsa, go to Nordagio's.
If I go to Tulsa, I'll be there. I would say my choice would be Sugar House Coffee in Salt Lake City.
Oh yeah.
Really cool place.
I like it.
Sugar House. Salt Lake's a great town. Well, also, I mean, is there anything else you want us to know about you or the coffee shop that we didn't touch on? I think we've learned a lot today. This has been fantastic.
Is there anything that we want to tell them? Here's Wren. Hi, Wren.
Hey, Wren.
Hey guys.
Wren is my manager and she is awesome. I don't know what I would do without her. She makes my life much easier around here.
So Wren is the new Lori.
And she's she's the new Lori.
Lori.
Anything we want them to know that we didn't talk about?
That you guys didn't talk about?
Mhm. Put me on the spot here.
Come a little closer, Wren. It's kind of hard to hear you over there.
Let's see. There are some exciting things in work around the shop. We're gonna do a little facelift here soon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Getting the outside patio all ready for spring and getting some fresh paint on the walls.
Yeah.
Also new merch.
New merch.
Oh,
Yeah.
Excited about
Yeah.
some new merch.
Yeah.
so I'm gonna have to get another goat beanie baby.
Yeah.
So sorry.
Yes.
Our,
You never-
ours is named Nashley.
You're what?
Our goat is named Nashley.
Oh, Nashley. Why Nashley?
Because we have another little stuffy that we got in Nashville, and that one's name is Nash. So then the goat became Nash too, but then it became Nashley. It's a whole thing. I don't know. You have to ask Zoe.
I like it.
Every single stuffy in our house has a name. And if you don't remember it, you're in trouble.
Is it your oldest daughter that has named all these?
Yes. Every one of them has a name. So.
Love it.
Well, wonderful. I'm excited to see the growth. I'm excited to see you there for another 10 years. And then maybe 10 years from now, we're talking about Wren transitioning.
Wren's buying the shop.
Yeah.
Buying the shop. So
New Lori.
the new Lori and then we get a new Wren. Well, thanks, y'all. I'm excited. And if you're in Drip, you have to go down to Mercer Street and stop in, get some coffee in Mazama. There's a ton of shops down there. There are different boutiques. I mean, there's, I don't even know, 7, 8 down there now. I mean, there's a lot. You've got Mercer Street Art, you've got all the different shops. So yeah, if you're in Drip, you got to go down to Mercer Street, get yourself some coffee.
Check us out on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. So where can we find you? Where can we find you on social?
It's Mazama Coffee on Instagram. That's our name, Mazama Coffee. So check us out.
We'll be sure to tag you and get you in the show notes. And I'm really excited that you guys came on. I'll probably be over there in a couple hours for an hour coffee.
I'll be here.
We'll see you soon. So thanks for tuning in and listening to Sold on Drip. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to the Sold on Drip podcast. Please hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future episodes. If you would like to connect, learn more about Dripping Springs, or have any questions regarding Central Texas real estate, you can find me at soldondrip.com or on Instagram at Bill Cafferetta. I hope to see you around town.